All right. Thank you, Alex, again, and thank you everyone for taking out the time to attend. And once again, my name is John Adibe, and I'm a front-end developer, and I'll be your instructor tonight, and definitely your instructor for the next couple of weeks. So, all right, give me a minute. Let me share my screen. All right. Please acknowledge if you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
All right, great. All right, thank you. Thank you, Anointing. Thank you, Joe. All right, so once again, my name is John, and I'll be your front-end development instructor for today. And please feel free to ask me questions or throw in any suggestion during the course of this session. I'll definitely be glad to attend them all. And yeah, I hope we have an interactive section. All right. First thing, first thing we're going to talk about is overview of web development. But then, what is web? I mean, we have heard of the term web couple of times, right? If not most of our daily interactions or daily activities, we do hear of web, or as many call it, World Wide Web. That's WWW. So yeah, the question again is, what is web? So web is a collection of public web pages, and all these public web pages, they are linked together so that they will be accessible to the users through the internet, right? So with the access of internet, we'll be able to get access to the web, right? See all these public web pages. These public web pages means the websites that we visit on daily basis, the web applications that we visit, interact with on daily basis. So that's kind of a more term for the public web pages. So that's what web is. So knowing what web is here is more like your browser is like a middleman between you and the web, right? Because through your browser, you'll be able to access the web. And that is actually why we have a lot of them. That's the browsers. We have the likes of Firefox, we have Safari, we have Chrome, we have Arc and all that, right? And also during this course, through the web, any browser at all will be needed also. Chrome is preferable so that we can have be able to debug together. So knowing what is web development? Remember that we said that web is a collection of all public web pages, and they are all linked together so that you and I can access them through internet. Now, what is web development? So web development involves creating websites and web applications or anything that runs on the web. So that's web development, right? You are developing on the web. So now you are creating websites, you are creating web applications, you are creating anything at all that runs on the web. That is web development. And web development are categorized into two main areas. That is the front end and the back end, which is what we have on our screen. Please acknowledge if you can see me, if you can see my screen, sorry, and if you are following.
Yes, sir. We're following what you're saying.
All right, great, thank you. So like I said, web development is categorized into two main areas, which is front end and then the back end. Front end is the client side. That's what the user interacts with. The user in this sense is you and me. We are the users, right? What to interact with on the web. So when you visit a browser, you type www. whatever website you want to type.com, right? Let's take, for example, Twitter. So what you see and interact with on twitter.com is the front end. That's the liking of a particular tweet, retweeting that tweet. That's all those buttons you click, all those texts that you see that the tweet contains, all those layouts, everything you're seeing, both on the trading parts, like if you're viewing Twitter on the browser or on your laptop, yeah, you see the trending part by the right. So all those positionings, all those things, all those interfaces, all those layouts, they are the front end. All right. So front end is the client side. Client is you and me. We are the clients. It is what the users interact with. That's front end. So the back end is the server side, right? Backend is mostly handling the logics, the expensive logic of a particular website or web application. And is also where the database is stored, right? And also where the APIs are being created. I will still give context on what API is. But that in general is what backend is. So backend, we, the users, don't have access to the backend. We don't see backend, but they have a major role to play on the um, view of a website, right? So how will I put this? The backend, just like I said, database, right? Every information they have on a website, you go to twitter.com, right? You see your profile name, your username, sorry, your profile picture, then every other person that you're following or the people that are following you, all those informations, all those user information that you see on a particular website, they are stored somewhere. And the place they are stored is called the database. And the person responsible for creating that environment where this database is stored is called backend developer. So that's like backend. Then the front end is in charge, responsible for creating the environment where the users, you and me, are going to interact with and make further actions on that particular website. So there is one other thing. We have full stack development here. Full stack is just the combination of front end and back end. Full stack is more like the development on both the front end and the back end of the application. That's full stack. But I mean, any full stack developer must master one, right? You have to master one first before you go to the other. But for the case, for our own scenario or for our own case, we're only going to be talking about front end. Okay, so we see API in the middle, and API have both arrows, one from backend to front end and the other one from front end to backend. So API is what connects the backend and the front end, because there's definitely going to be a channel between these two environments, right? And the particular interface that bridges that channel is what we call API. What is an API? API is also known as application programming interface. All right. API is also known as what? Application programming interface. API is a software interface, is an interface that allows the front end and the back end to connect with each other. Right? So that's the channel at which they connect and communicate. So, and this particular API can only be accessed using the HTTP protocol. That's why we have HTTP there. Sorry that the technologies are getting more, but don't worry, as we progress, every acronym or every technology we have here will, gradually become more relatable and understandable, right? So HTTP might not be a strange word to us because most of the website that we visit, we always see HTTP in front or HTTPS. So HTTP means Hypertext Transfer Protocol. The ones without S are not secure. That S you see on HTTP on every link that you open, if you see S after the HTTP, it means the particular website you're visiting is secured, right? If you don't see that S, it means it's not secure. So which means if you are carrying any private action in that particular website, it's not safe. So that's the difference between HTTP and HTTPS. So like I said, HTTP means Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And this HTTP defines the communication between clients and the servers, just like what API does, right? So API is just making it easy for us to communicate, for we, the front-end people, to communicate with the back-end. And there's a protocol at which this communication happens. And that protocol is called what? HTTP protocol. All right? So I'm going to give us an analogy so that everything will make a little bit sense to us, right? So let's take a restaurant, for example. I mean, we have all gone to a restaurant, one or the other, right? Let's take a restaurant, for example, and that restaurant is the web. Just imagine that the restaurant is the web. In fact, forget about that. Take a restaurant, for example, yeah? You go to a restaurant, you want to order food in a restaurant, yeah? Anything you interact with on that restaurant is the front end. The table, the plates they gave you to eat the food that you now have, I don't know what it is, maybe pasta or anything, yeah? Your favorite, you choose. So everything you interact with, you that went to the restaurant to buy food, everything you interact with there is the front end. Then when you go to a restaurant, you definitely tell someone what you want, right? And those people, we call them what? Waiter or waitress, right? So you tell a waiter, I need so and so thing, I need egg, I need this one, I need meat, I need all those assorted, all those things, right? The waiter will go to the kitchen, right? Don't worry, making sense. The waiter will go to the kitchen, get whatever you ordered, and then present it to you. Now the waiter is the API. Because without the waiter, there's no way you can communicate with the kitchen people that this is what you want. So the waiter is what? The API. You tell the waiter, go and get, please, I need this, I need that, I need that. Waiter will go to the kitchen. Kitchen is the backend, right? Waiter will go to the kitchen. So and so guy said he wants this, he wants that, gather all this information. Waiter will carry the food and come back to you, the user, and then present. So that's what API does. Go to front end, go to backend. That's API. And nothing concerns or nothing, there's no business the front end person or you, the user, has to do with backend, unless you didn't pay for your food. Then you're gonna be washing plates in the kitchen. But else, there is no business you have with the kitchen, right? You are the front end person, so everything everything you're interacting with is just the ones they gave you, the food the waiter gave you and everything. So that's a little bit analogy that I have just to give more context to this. If we are following, please signify.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're following what you're saying.
Yes. So that is that. So but for our course, is no the thing is it's good to know what front end does, which is your area. It's also good to know what back end does, because most of the time you're going to be interacting with backend, right? You also learn how to consume API. You're not going to be coding backend, don't worry. You're just going to be communicating with backend through API. You will learn how to integrate APIs also. But before that, we're going to learn how to build a front end page, a front end solution, and all that. So that's that. So for our course, we are talking about front end development, right? So what is front end development? Front-end development focuses on building the user interface and the user experience of the website or web applications. Front-end development is what? Is the focus of building user interface or the user experience, and the user experience, because you have to consider these two things, the user interface and the experience. The user interface are just the things you interact with, right? The buttons you click, the information you view. Then the experience is the experience the user had, right? Through the course of or whatever, through the time they were on that website, moving from page to page, clicking buttons and all that, right? User experience, let's go back to that restaurant. User experience is the experience they had in that restaurant. You can give them 5 star or 1 star, depend if the food sweet or not. So that's the user experience, the experience you had through the life cycle or through the time you are on that particular website. So, but then for you to call yourself a front-end developer, there are just 3 core technologies that you need to be familiar with. There are 3 core technologies of front-end development, and these technologies are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML, CSS, and then JavaScript. So HTML, we can say that HTML is it's not like we can see. HTML means hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language. We can actually, after this course, we can actually check all these things, just to give us more context. Probably browse it out, read more on it, or drop your questions on the Slack channel. I'll be readily available to answer them. So HTML means hypertext markup language. It is the backbone of web development. Without HTML, there is no existence of any web or public page or any website out there. Everything starts from HTML, right? And it also defines the structure of a web page. It allows browsers to display content, to interpret content also and display them. Just like if you visit a browser, you are seeing all these things. It is HTML that is telling the browser, okay, give this to the user, display this to the user this way, display that to the user that particular way, right? So HTML handle building all those blocks and the structure. So using HTML, we're going to talk about the elements that we need to, you know or get familiar with to be able to do all these things. We have the header elements, we have the paragraph. Don't worry, we'll get into it. Yeah, we'll be having a code along. So also, please make sure you have your PC with you currently, because after this introduction, we'll be doing a code along so that you will not be missing out. So the next thing is CSS, right? CSS means cascading style sheet. CSS is just like a style sheet here. It controls the styling and the layout of a web page. It allows responsiveness, right? So with CSS, we'll be able to tell, okay, I want this button to be blue. I want this button to be black. I want this button to be red. With CSS, we can also say, okay, you take a background color, you take a padding, margin, all those things. We'll get familiar with it as we progress. So CSS handles all those stylings, okay? Just to beautify it, right? Make it more appealing to the users that will be interacting with that particular website. Then JavaScript, the Ogabata JavaScript, it adds interactivity on the website. It makes the website a little bit dynamic, not a little bit, like most of the dynamism that you see on a website is as a result or the work of a JavaScript code or implementation. So it just makes it a little bit dynamic. All those buttons you click a button and it opens a modal or opens a pop-up or something like that. You click a what will I say? All those animations, right? If you see the website, you see some animation, you see this one moving up, you see that one moving down, right? Dynamic content, all those things is the work or handled with JavaScript. So knowing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, I have another analogy, and I'm going to use building, for example. So just take in a building, we have the foundation. That's the first thing you do in a building. Yeah, you have the foundation, you roof it, right? And then the body, all those the blocks, the building blocks and everything. So that's HTML. That's the first thing you do if you're building a house. I mean, obviously, the first thing you do if you're building a house is to hire an architect so that they will sketch out how it's going to look like. But then let's keep that. But aside that, the first thing you do, the next thing you do actually is just the building blocks, the foundation, the decking and all that, the roofing and all that. Yeah. Then the next thing after that is you start putting paint, right? First, before paint, plastering, you paint it, you put furnitures and all those things. So at the process of you painting, trying to make that house more beautiful, right? You're not applying CSS. You get me? I mean, I don't know who is living. Okay, sorry, let me just say this. Yeah, you're not applying CSS, try to make the house beautiful and all that, right? So now when you now apply JavaScript is when you are trying to make the house a little bit more dynamic, like all the light bulb, right? You click a switch, a light switch, it ons and off, right? Click off, on, click off. The same thing with your door, the hinge on your door that makes your door open and close. All those things that add functionality to the house or an apartment, all those things, right, is the JavaScript part, right? So the foundation is HTML, the foundation and the building block HTML, the painting, the plastering, the painting, the furnitures and everything is CSS. Then adding more functionalities and all that is JavaScript. So that is that. Hope I'm not talking too much or explaining too much. I'm just doing this so that we'll be able to, get understand everything or how to relate with all these tools on our daily or day-to-day activities. So the role of a front-end developer. I mean, it's easy to say, yeah, I'm a front-end developer, right? I build websites. But some people might not be able to understand, okay, there are certain things that you must have kept in place. There are certain things you must have done, yeah, before you can call yourself a front-end developer, right? So the first is creating and maintaining UI components. UI component, that's UI means user interface. All those components that you see, the buttons, the input, where you input your email and password, those sections you see on a page by the side, by the header that you see, the header that you navigate to, the footer. That's when you scroll to the very bottom of a web page. You see the footer at the bottom. All those things are components. So you are creating, you're not writing a front-end code for yourself. Yeah, you're writing it so that any person that looks at this particular code will understand it. There's what we call spaghetti code. You get to know it. You get to understand, like know it when you progress. Yeah, it's okay to not get it right at first, but as you progress, you work on making your code readable, right? Making it understandable, so that even if a someone that just understood or learns front end comes and look at it, he or she will understand what you are trying to do there. Even yourself, because there are some codes I wrote in, let's say 2 years ago. If I visit, I'll be asking myself, who really wrote this? Am I the one? Like you start wondering, yeah, but that is the growth. So the best thing you're going to do is just to work on it, make sure it is better as you progress, right? And then focus on writing a maintainable code. Let just don't write a spaghetti code that will just be looking like a spaghetti. Nobody is understanding where the end is or where the beginning is. Right. So that's creating and maintaining a UI component effectively. Actually, I didn't put that there. Optimizing performance for fast load times. All right. I build a website, but before the website load, now after 5 minutes, who are you trying to deceive? All right. I mean, you are building a website. You're also going to consider performance. All the images you are using, all your assets, make sure they are very, very low in size, like megabytes or kilobytes. Megabytes is even too much. Kilobyte, KB, and all that. So that I will not spend my entire life waiting for your website to load. You understand? Just like, sorry, I'm going to borrow the words of Elizabeth Gabriel. She said something in the beginning. She said she managed a website in 2020 and she did not like what the person who did it the first time did. And that is why, and she hired another person, or another person came and worked on it and she loved what the second person did. You as a user, okay, you as a maintainer, what hit your mind? Like you didn't like it. There's a lot of things wrong. Probably the person wrote one jargon for the person just so that they will get paid and go their way. Or they didn't optimize the application well. So nothing was actually going well. So that's a bad experience. Not even for you, for the user that will be visiting the site. That's a very bad experience. So if you are working on any project, as you progress, if you're working on any project, put this at the top of your mind. Optimize performance. Make sure that it is according to standard. There, I will still talk about it as we progress. Probably not today, but there's how to measure the performance of your website, and those things matter. So that's the second item. The third item is ensuring cross-browser and cross-device compatibility. I don't know if you do hear of they work for my system, but you know they work for your own. You know, concern me. You are building a website and it's working on your machine, but it's not working on the user's machine. Who are you deceiving? Right. So if you're working on something like this, you need to have in mind of every other browsers. Safari, we have a lot of them. We have Safari, we have Firefox. So there is a plugin that is in CSS that will just help you to make sure that whatever you're writing is compatible for cross browsers. We'll be learning about that too, right? So aside cross browsers, yeah, we have cross device. Cross browsers is between Chrome and every other browsers, right? Make sure that it is working the same way on both browsers or other browsers that you test with. The other thing is cross-device compatibility. Cross-device is it is like this on Android. It is up on Android, but it is down on iPhone, right? It is like this on the laptop, but it's like that on tablets. So if you're working, you're also going to test all these things. Yeah, it is a lot of work if you're looking at it at this stage. But as you progress, you see that these are the vital things that make this work really, really fun, right? So you write on a PC, you also have to test on other devices. You have to test on tablets. You have to test on mobile phone. You have to test on see how it behaves on iOS. Also see how it behaves on Android. So that's the third item: ensuring cross-browser and cross-device compatibility. So the last item is working with designers and backend developers. Now another this part, yeah, is more like the thing that makes this part more fun is the communication between the designers and the backend developers. If you do see some meme on Twitter, you see where people are posting a meme where a backend developer and the designer is fighting. Probably the designer don't code a world class design, don't give the developer wasting the learn. So yeah, it happens. So if there's a communication between parties, I think everything is going to be seamless. Both backend developers, as the entirety of that application from the beginning to the end, you're going to be communicating with your backend developers just to make sure that everything you're working on or all the features you're adding to that website is exactly the same framework that the backend person is using to create the API that you will be consuming later on the project. Then designers, yeah, it's also good to really connect to designers when they are still designing, not after they have designed. Anyone is actually okay, don't mind me. So, but why I say it like that is because when you wait after, by then you might not really get the concept. So it's good to be on the first stage of it just to understand the flow. Yeah, probably just on the first stage, then you can give them a space. But then it's good to understand a work relationship with designers also. There is other roles aside designers and backend. There is product manager. Iman, when you are filling for this form in this what's it called? The Dive HQ, where when you're still registering, you see a place where there is data analysis, there is product manager, there is QA, quality assurance, all those things. All those things still play a vital role because at the life cycle of a project, you're still going to work with all these departments just to ensure that everything or what you just did is up to par, right? And I think along the line, probably towards the second half of this session, you will be merged with different teams, so you can build something with vast different skills and other. So yeah, that is that for my presentation. The next thing is we'll be opening VS Code and then doing a code along. But before that, if you have any question, this is a good time to ask before I proceed. No question? Oh, okay. I think Eshe Vic. Did I call that right?
Yeah, SJ, good evening. So
Eshe, yeah.
my question is before you proceed, I want to ask, are we going to be taught any framework? What's the curriculum like?
Yes, you are going to be taught a framework. Yes, yes, you will. We'll be teaching, I think there is React JS. Yeah, we'll
Oh,
be
okay.
using React to build a more, yeah, we'll be using React. But
All right,
first, we need to do the basics, that's HTML and JavaScript, so that everybody can be on the same page, right?
all right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Eshe. Ibru Daniel, sorry. Ibru Daniel. Okay. Adewumi Mary. That called her, right? Adewumi Mary. Okay. If there's no other question, we can. Okay, Ibru Daniel.
Yo, GM everyone.
GM Chief. Sorry, that called her, right? The name.
No, no, you damaged my name.
Sorry, help me. Correct me, please.
Ebubra Daniel.
Ibru Daniel. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Apologies. All
My
right.
question is, can I be able to build a portfolio with front end? Like, can I build a portfolio as a front end developer?
Yes, you can. The portfolio you're talking about is probably a website dedicated to you about what you do and your skills, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes. In fact, by the end of this session, not today, but by the end, we are going to be building a portfolio. It's actually part of what we'll be doing.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This next stage, we use a laptop now. Abi?
Yeah, we'll be needing a laptop for this next phase. Yes.
Okay, let me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, Mr.
Hi.
John.
Good evening, Mary.
Okay, you talked about HTTP and HTTPS. I didn't get that part. You're
Oh,
kind of fast in that angle. I didn't get that part.
oh yes, yes, yes. Okay, so HTTP. No, I was saying HTTP means hypertext transfer protocol. Hypertext transfer protocol. And on the prefix of on some of the websites or the links that you click, you normally see HTTP there, right? The there's HTTP, there's HTTPS. Let me talk about that first. So the S there means secured. So if you see any S, HTTPS on any website you're clicking, it is safe for you to, impute your user information or any other thing. But if you don't see S, it's best to just look at it and leave, right? Because the security certificate has expired, right? And there might be a lot of causes that led to that. So that's the difference between HTTP and HTTPS. And what HTTP is the communication between clients and the servers. That's browser, that's you as the client and the servers. So with HTTP, we can communicate with the web, right? It's a transfer protocol. We'll be able to communicate with the web. Okay, we need this particular website. Load it for us, right? So it goes to the server or the internet or the World Wide Web, gets that information, that's the website, and loads it for you on your browser. So that's what HTTP is. That's why you see HTTP in front of every link. There's every link you access, there's HTTP in front of you. Did I answer your
Okay.
question?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. John.
Thank you, Mary. Um, I think that's all the questions, right? Okay, so thank you for listening. The next thing you need to do is to thank you, Joe. You need to open your VS Code. If you don't have a VS Code, I'll show you how to set it up real quick. Give me a minute, let me reshare my screen. All right, so you can see my screen. Just type VS Code on your browser. VS Code. What am I typing? VS Code. Then just select the download. So if you're using Windows, you can I think you can download the first one, or just click on this button to download for Windows. If you're using Mac, if your MacBook is what's it called? Is M1 or the Intel chip. Sorry, not Intel, the Apple Silicon, right? Download this one. If it is Intel chip, download this. If you're unsure, just click on this. It will recommend a beta version for your PC. Then if you're using Linux or Ubuntu or that, you can click on the first one to download, or just click on the CLI on. So if you don't have VS Code, please do so, download. I'll just give us like a minute or two to do that. If you still need time, open your VS Code or on your laptop to code along. You'll have a minute to 2 minutes to do that. Network, sorry about that. But Daniel. Okay, so while we get that out of the way, I will open my VS Code. All right, so you can just create any folder at all on your desktop, right? Just call it anything you want. But just create a new folder. I'll be calling mine front end. Wait, what is happening? Rename? Why is my rename not working? Yeah, I'll be calling it, let's say, dive HQ front end class 01. Well, let me remove the dive HQ so that its name won't belong. Okay. So if you have created a folder, just create an empty folder on your desktop space. I think for Windows, you have to, yeah, you have to just click new. Forgotten how it is for Windows, but just create a new folder, call it anything, give it any name. Make sure there is no space between them. If there is space, just use the hyphen or dash to separate it. All right, so if you have done this, drag the folder and drop on top of your VS Code. But before here, you must have opened your VS Code, just like I opened mine. So when you have done that, just drag the folder and drop on top of your VS Code. It should open. So for you to know if it is open, you are going to see the name you gave it at the top left. Like mine, I gave mine front-end class 1. You'll see it at the top here. If I remove my mouse, you see the full name. All right. This is VS Code. So what is VS Code? VS Code is an IDE. I'll drop the name on the chat section. IDE. Let me drop the meaning. IDE, integrated development environment. That's what IDE means. IDE means integrated development environment. So there is just like an environment built specifically to write codes and all that. Just like we have a Microsoft Word for writing Word documents, we have a PowerPoint for writing presentation documents. We have a Excel for writing more complex sheets and all those things, right? So just like in coding, we have our own tool for doing that also. And ours is more like it is grouped, is categorized under IDE. Aside VS Code, we have other ones. We have Sublime Text, we have IntelliJ, we have a lot of IDEs, but VS Code is widely recognized because of the community. So if you have VS Code open and you have your folder open, so I will just explain, just give more context on what is here. So this is just the file explorer, right? Sorry about that, Daniel. This course is actually recorded. We'll see downloading VS Code. The course is actually recorded, so you can still make reference to it on YouTube. We'll be sharing the link tomorrow. When the video is done recording, all that, right? All processing and all that. So you still have access to rewatch the class. So we have the file explorer. This is the explorer. This explorer shows all the files you have under your folder. Then this search, this icon here is just for you to search. Probably want to search for a particular file or on your folder or the one you created. You want to search something, you just come here, type it, and it's going to show you what that is. We'll still get to use it more often. Then this is the source control. We are going to be doing a version control along the course, which is Git. We use Git for version control. Don't worry, when we get there, I'll give more context on how to make use of it. So this for debugging, running and debugging, we'll get to that. Then this is where I want you to go to. The one with 4 squares, but the square on the right, top right, is actually like away from the rest. So click on this icon on your VS Code. Then on that search bar, type live server. Type live server. I've already installed it. So when you type it, the first one that opens up, the one with 59 million downloads. The first one, after typing live server, click on it. It will open this window, and then you click on install. I've installed mine. That's why it's showing on install here. So when you install, just click on the install. It's going to do its thing, right? So the next thing we need is Prettier. Prettier. Choose the one with verified Prettier, the one that says Prettier code formatter. It has 53 million downloads. So also install. So we've been needing Prettier just to make our code look more pretty. I mean, we are front-end guys. We want to be doing pretty stuff, right? So this extension will really help us to help in formatting our codes and make it look more readable. Then the live server is to host our application or our website on the browser. So we just use it to serve our website on the browser as a local server, because we have not pushed to the internet yet. We just need a local server that we can, easily work with and test with. So this live server extension will help in making that possible. So if you have done this, go back to this icon, the first one, the file explorer. Then on here, we are going to create a new file, right? So we're going to create a new file, and we're going to call the file index.html. So to do that, you right click, new file, not folder. Choose file, click on new file, then you enter index.html. Yeah, Prettier, you're correct. Ruba Daniel, Prettier. All right, so at this stage, I need to be sure that we are all following. Please signify, probably raise your hand or just like or something so that I can know that we are on the same page. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Kenneth. Yeah, thank you.
I'm not on the same page though.
Which page are you on?
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get the app this thing to put it in the app.
Okay, put your folder inside VS Code. Is that where you are?
Yeah.
Are you having challenges or you are just getting to that stage now?
I'm just getting to that stage now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Balogun.
So please, I got stuck at this place where you said we should open files instead of folder.
Yeah, so just right click on your keyboard, on your mouse pad on your laptop. The button by the right, that's the right click here. Just right click on this space. You can see my mouse hovering on this space here. Yeah? Right click, then select new file. Then when you select new file, it's going to show you, and then let me delete this. Sorry that I'm drawing us back, right? I just need everyone to be on the same page. I'll right click, new file. You see there is an empty space here. You type index.html. I will still tell us why I chose index as my name. Or another way to do is, if you hover, you can see the first icon here at the top. You just click on it. This first icon means new file. The second one is folder. This one is refresh. This one is collapse. But don't worry, as you use VS Code, you get to know all this and the use cases. So if you are done this, come click on it. Just double click, so it's going to open it up here where you can type something, right? Make sure that the index.html file is open on this development area. That's is showing on the tab here. So if you have it open, I want you to do something. If you go to the bottom right corner of your VS Code, you will see go live. This go live is here because we installed live server. So if you're not seeing this, then it means you have not installed live server. Click on this development area, then see if you can see go live here. If you can see go live, just click on it. It's going to open up a link for us, right? You can just, if you check, it's going to open up a link for you. So my own link is this. Let me open the link here. So this is my own. You can see that I have index.html here. Just open the link and then we can start coding. So if you're not seeing this go live, just at the development area, right click also, then see if you can say open with live server. You'll see it somewhere at the, I think that's the top to the last item for some of your systems or so. But mine is the top to the last item. Open with live server. So once you do that, it's going to open up a link for you on your browser. And then this should be how it should look like at first, blank screen. So now let's do something here. First, why did I label this as .html? Remember, index, I can call index anything. The index is just the name you are giving the file, right? The first part is the name. If you, I don't know, how can I zoom into this? I can't really zoom in. So if you look well, you see that we have on our file, we have index.html, right? So the first part is the name of our file. You can call it anything you want, right? But I wanted us to choose index so we can all be on the same page. You can call it Elizabeth, you can call it Mary.html, you can call it Eshevik.html, you can call it Balogun.html, you can call it anything at all, right? But for our own scenario, or in our own case, we're going to call it index.html. And why do I say .html? .html means I'm telling my system, this is an HTML file. Please treat this file as an HTML file. Without the .html, the system will not know that this file is HTML. So if you are creating any HTML file, you write the name, then end it with what? .html. If it is CSS, when we are writing CSS, you see that when we create a CSS file, we're going to call the name .css. The same thing with JavaScript, the name .js for JavaScript. But for now, we are doing HTML. So if you have done this, you are good to go. So let's do something here. In HTML have elements. HTML. So let me comment out something. HTML elements. HTML elements. HTML elements are just like what will I say? It is just the way we write our code in HTML, because every particular language has the way you write it, right? So for HTML, we use HTML elements to write our own structure, to create the structure of our web page. And how to write HTML elements? You start with less than, right? If you want to locate less than on your keyboard, you have to use shift, then the key. Less than, then write the name of the element. Let's say, for example, we want a paragraph element, which is P. Okay? When you do this, write P, then close with greater than. Sorry. Close with greater than. You should have something like this, right? Then the second part is the closing tag. This is an opening tag. In HTML, in the rule of HTML, in fact, in the rule of coding, if you are starting anything, you must close it. If you're not going to start it, there's no need closing anything. Don't open it at all, right? If you're going to start any tag, you're going to close it. If you're going to start any function, you are going to close it. So for us to close this is how to close a tag, HTML tag. Use less than, then /P, and then greater than. This is how to close a tag. So we're now telling the system that this tag started here and it ends what? Here. So the first one is the opening tag. The second one is the what? Closing tag. So we have, sorry if I'm going too slow. I need to do this so that we can all be on the same page. So we have opening tag. Opening tag, which is let's say start like this, and then closing tag. Closing tag. Zoom in. Can't clearly see. Okay, let me see if I can zoom. How can I've not tried zooming in this system before. I think there's a way you can zoom. Full screen. Okay, yeah, zoom in. Okay, that's command equals to. By now you should be able to see, right? Let me do it again. So this is it, right? So here is the opening tag. This is the opening tag and this is the closing tag. After this, we are going to be fast so that we will not take much time. That is how to close. How do you close a tag? You put slash before the name of the tag. So now this is the opening and this is the closing. And then we have another part. We have the content. The content is probably anything. You can type hello world inside it. Inside it is in between the closing and in between the opening and the closing. Type anything you want, but I choose to type hello world. So once you do this, you save. You save. How to save is Control S. If you're on Mac OS, then it's Command S. So when you save, go back to your browser and refresh. You're going to see hello world on your browser on that link that was created. That's what that was created for you. You're going to see hello world there. All right. If you're not seeing hello world, then you might have done something wrong. And I'll show this again so we can be on the right track. So this is it. So p tag is mostly a block element. Now I'm going to talk about block elements first. I will still explain what we call it block elements. Block elements. Don't worry about writing all these things here. Just focus on doing this. Just the line 6 here. Just focus on this. I'll still tell you how to comment out and all that. So block elements are all elements that takes the whole width of a web page. It takes the whole width. Like, consider this hello world. You will not see it, but this hello world is taking this whole width of this web page. It's taking this whole width. So if I put another hello world under it, let me open and close this. Okay, yeah, goodbye world. I like this. Goodbye world. You see, I write P means paragraph if you don't know that. Let me not write any other thing. So you can see if I refresh, you can see goodbye word. You notice that this one took the whole width. This one also took the whole width. You won't see it here. We'll still do something to make that visible. So that's it. That's for p tag. We have other tags, right? Big tag is just one of many. Other ones we have is we have a h1. H1, just type H and then 1. Then you close it. And then, yeah, inside of it, type header, or just say heading 1. I'll remove this goodbye word. I should leave it, don't worry. No, remove it. I created another tag called H1. H1 is another tag for making your text. Let me just show you so you see. See that the H1 is very, if I refresh now, see that the H1 is very bold and thick. So if you visit some website, there is always this caching first text that you see that is very big. I can open up a website so you can see now. Coming, sorry. So this website, you can see the first thing that caught your attention, the fast scalable inference in our clouds or yours. So this first thing that caught your eye was written in H1, right? So that's the first thing the user needs to get attention to, just to give them more contents about the website. And that's how to build yours. So if you're building anyone, use your H1 to get the attention of the user. So that's for H1. We also have H2. H2 means heading 2. Can call it header actually. No, I'm not going to finish it right time. Just say H2, open, close it, then write heading 2. If you come, refresh, go back to your browser, refresh, you see that heading 2 is a little bit smaller than heading 1. So just like that up until H6. So you can just, can just pan it out, here. So do that up until heading 6. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, heading 6. So if you go back and refresh, you'll see the differences. You see heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, heading 6. But honestly, most of the time, you might only be needing H1 and H2, right? Yeah, so that every other one, you can just use any other tag to represent them. But then it's good to know that this exists. Okay, so that's for H1. Remember, all these are under block elements. Like I said, block elements, they take the full screen. Okay? Come on, give me a minute. Okay, yeah, block elements, they take the full width of the screen. This one takes the full width. It actually does, but it doesn't show. We have to put something to make it show. So that's for the heading tags. So we have other tags. We have other tags. We have a we have div. Div will be very, very common. This is going to be a very, very common tag. This is going to be a division. I don't know if the name is division really, but it really explains giving just division. Let's say division div. Div is just a normal tag. It's mostly used for, if you refresh, you're going to see division. I see division at the bottom. Div is mostly used for just wrapping your elements, probably providing a container for some elements, for nesting elements. We'll get there. That will give more context to it. But just know that div exists. Please make sure that if you're opening your tag, you're closing it. We have other tags. We have header. We have the header tag, header, used to, if you visit any website like this part here at the top, this place we have the basting model, blah, 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 and then this side. Everything here is wrapped on a header. So it's just a convention that HTML5 provided so that your code base will be more readable and more descriptive, just with the name of the header, name of the tag, sorry. Please don't be confused. I'm calling it tag. You can also call it elements. So it's HTML tags. It's also HTML elements. They all mean the same thing. So we have header. We have a section. We have section. Section is probably just to wrap something or wrap a just it does what div does actually. In fact, most of these things just does what div does. We have footer. We have footer as a tag. Then you save. Please, if you are writing anyone, make sure you save, right? If you don't save, you will not be able to like get it on your browser when you go there. So if you refresh, you're going to see we have division, header, section, footer. Footer is mostly at the very last section or the very last part of a website. So that's where we wrap our footer and all that. So that is for block elements. Okay. So now let's do inline elements. They are still tags, right? But for some reason they are inline. Inline means they are in the same line, just in line. That's just the meaning. Block elements means it's taking the whole block, the width block. Then inline means it is in the same line. So if I write yeah, exactly, inline elements. The first inline element that we'll get used to is span. Inline element span. Now, for you to know that this span is actually inline, if I check my website, you see that it is close to this footer. It's just by the side. Now, see, if I refresh, oh no, it's not. Okay, what happened? Okay, let me just remove all these things. Sorry, just give me a minute. Oh yeah, because this one is also a block. Okay, yeah. So let's just work from here. The first one is span element. The next one is a elements is an anchor, is called an anchor tag. I'll give us hints on what this one does. A is called anchor or link. That's what A is. So if I check my website, I'll see that you can see here now, see the span, see the anchor link. It is in line. Like anyone you put now is going to be in the same line with each other. Okay, that's what we call it inline elements. Please know this. Wait, did I mention that we'll be giving a take-home assignment? Sorry, this is not secondary school, but it's good to like give us some things by the end of the day so we can, work on it and get better. So there'll be something. So let's look out for it. So the next inline element is strong. Sorry, strong. And just type strong. Strong is just used to bolding your text. If I refresh, I'm going to say strong by the side. Just bolding this, just makes the text a little bit strong. So I'll do just one very last thing before we wrap this up. I told us that we'll be coming back to this anchor element, right? Or the anchor tag. So what anchor tag is just A, right? Starting with A, closing with A is a tag. But the main purpose of it is just to create a link between your application and another application, right? So there's what we call attributes. There's what we call attributes. Fine. Attributes, and this thing is put in the comments, sorry. Attributes is used to modify the behavior. Oh, okay. Yeah, finished up for me. Thanks. So attributes is used to modify the behavior of an element. It's just used to put more functionality to that particular element, right? That's what an attribute does. And there is one thing you also need to learn about an attribute. An attribute, sorry, attributes are located inside the opening tag. So attributes are located inside the opening tag. This is where you put the attribute. There is no other place you put it, right? So first you need to know that attributes is used to modify the behavior of an element, just to put a little bit change to it here. And where do we find that attributes? On the opening tag. So let's take, for example, there is an attribute, a very common attribute that you see on all tags. We call that attribute class. And how to write an attribute, I'll do that again. You go inside the opening tag after the name, inside the opening tag, just after, make sure it's not closed, make sure you're just inside after the name, put a space, then write the name of the attributes. The attribute we're talking about here is class. When you write the name, which is class, you put equals to, then open and close your quotation. This is how to write an attribute. So this is now the value. The class is the key or the entity. Then whatever you write inside the this place is called the value. So the class is the property and this is the value for an attribute. So class, what is class used for? Class is used for just grouping your elements, just grouping an element you're in a class. Just take, for example, in secondary school, JSS1 class, JSS2 class, JSS3 class, you understand? So with this class attributes, we're able to group some elements in a particular class. Understood? So I give these elements now. You can name anything as your value, but make sure that you don't make any mistake with the spelling of the property or the key. So inside the quotation, we'll just write paragraph because this is a paragraph tag. That's all. So I'm grouping this particular tag in a paragraph. Okay. Then these particular tags, these ones here, I can still write a class in it. What will I call the class? I'll call the class heading. Okay. Because every H means heading. So H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, they are all under the class of heading. So I'm going to copy this, just copy, come here, give a space, paste, come here again, give a space, paste, come here, the same thing, just do the same thing till you get to the very last one. So exactly, you can see that I gave all this thing class heading, all of them, because they are all heading tags. Sorry, Kenneth said you can't see my screen. Kenneth, can you see my screen now? Sorry.
Yes, I can see it now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. So you can see that I gave everything here, heading. What I'm just doing is I'm saying that H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6 all belong to the class of heading. Yeah, Kenneth?
How do I write that comment?
Okay. This is what we call comments. Now you ask. I didn't want to talk about this yet, but then since you asked, this is what we call comments. Commenting in HTML or commenting in code in general is just writing a block, a line that you don't want the system to recognize. Ladies and gentlemen, you notice that I wrote HTML elements here, right? If I go to my browser, there's no HTML elements. Okay. So I commented it out so that my browser or my system will not recognize it. So how to comment? You just, for Windows, you do control question mark. For Mac, it is command question mark. Let me just write it down here. How do I comment? Exactly. You can see the question mark. Is either question mark or this. Actually slash by default. But it's better to reference by question mark. So if you press control question mark, if you're on Windows, control question mark. If you're on Mac, it is command question mark. Yeah, I think there's no erasing. Nice. So once you do this, so now see, if I want to comment out this first hello world, I don't want my browser or my system to see it. Remember there's hello world here, right? Now if I go back, I'll just click my cursor on this line and then command question mark, right? It comments it out, then save. This is meaning of commenting out. Once it turns this gray, it is commented out. Okay. So once you do that, go back to your browser, refresh. You will not see that hello world again. It means you are seeing it on your code, but the system is not recognizing it. So that's how to comment out. You use this more often when you are writing description of a particular function that you wrote or something. Okay. So I want us to be done so that I didn't plan on taking this long, honestly. So I was talking about, sorry, I was talking about the class attributes, right? So, yeah, I think we understand this by now. So I can just come to this one, every class here. I can just come here and say, let me give this class as inline tags. So I can come here, inline tags, then come to anchor again, put inline tags, come here again, put inline tags. What I'm doing is any style that I add to this inline tag is to affect all these elements. Okay. The same thing with this heading. If I add any style to this heading, it's going to affect all these things. Also on this paragraph, if I add anything on this paragraph, it's going to affect, like if I modify it on the CSS part, we'll get there. Don't worry. So that's the attributes that I want us to talk about, which is the href attributes. href. Please don't make a mistake. href, yeah, href. Then put your equals to, and then open and close. Open and close the quotation. Href can mean hyperlinking or hyperreference. It is used only on anchor tags. So there are attributes that are unique to an element. You cannot apply href on span. The only place you can use href is on an a tag. It's the only place. But class name, you can use class on every tag because all tags are open for them to be grouped on a particular class. But href, no, is only used on a tag. Okay. And what does this href do? You can just add the link to where you want the website to link you to. So I can just say, let this website be Google. I just say, let this website Google.com. Just Google, yeah. So now what you put here is the link to Google. Just type google.com. Then copy the link on the search bar. Then come inside this place and paste the link. Okay? Paste the link. Then go back. Just close this Google that you opened here. Then go back, refresh, see where we have Google. If I let me close every other thing, let me just comment out every other thing so we can have only that tag. We have gotten this far, so it's something. Refresh. You can see we only have Google now, right? So now if I click on this link, if I click on it, it's going to take me to Google because I added the Google link here. I told it whenever I click, refer the user, that's href, hyper refer the user or hyper reference or hyperlink the user to this particular link, that's google.com. So when I click here now, you see it loads up google.com. Okay, so that's just it. We can have other a tags. You can duplicate it, call this one and call this one LinkedIn. Then you just go, just refresh. I've not changed the href, so if I click, it's going to take me to Google, but I want it to take me to LinkedIn. So I'll go and look for LinkedIn URL and then just copy this. Then come to here, just remove the google.com here and then paste. So now if I refresh, make sure you refresh, make sure you save here and come here, make sure you refresh. So if I click on this LinkedIn now, it's going to open up LinkedIn. You can see that, right? So that's basically it. So like this, you can refer every other platform. You can do Instagram on your free time, do Instagram, just change name here to Instagram, the content inside. Do Twitter, do any of your favorite websites, right? So so that is that for now. I think I should do one more tag. Okay. So we understood block elements. Under blocking, we have H1 and others. We understood all the header elements or all the heading elements. We understood other types of block elements, which is the div, header, section, and footer. This is all for the block elements. Then we also talked about inline elements, elements that are in line with each other, right? The first one is span. We have anchor, we have strong. We still have other ones, but I want you to go figure that out on your own, right? Just search for inline elements and then like walk yourself through it. So yeah, that's basically it. So today I took this slow pace today because I want us to be on the same page. But now we are kind of on the same page, right? Go look out for other elements. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them, right? I mean, you're not going to know all of them, yeah, but it's good to like have idea of, okay, this one actually exists, right? This exists. Okay, so I want you to an assignment, yeah. It's a very simple assignment. Just create an image element, image tag, and add an image here. So just that simple. Create an image element or image tag and add an image to it. So just walk yourself through it, go through the like, okay, try to figure out how to do this. Then on our next class, I'll be talking about this image element. And please, 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 don't only wait for when there is classes to do a code along, right? Don't only wait for when we have a class. We only have these classes like how many times? We have it like twice in a week, right? But don't only wait for this time of the week to actually do something about this, right? Today, I'll say it again. I went on this space because I want us to all be on the same page. But after today, yes, create an image tag and add an image to it. Just browse how to create an image tag and how to include an image to it in HTML. That will solve your problem. Also, so what was I saying? Sorry. Don't only wait for this time to do a code along. On your leisure time, I know some of us are busy, or all of us are actually have something we're doing in the day. That's even the reason why these classes happen at night. But then, regardless, you do have like 50 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes in a day just to do one or two. So with that time you have, just read something about HTML. Read a fun fact, no problem. Just get yourself more familiar with HTML, because on the next class, we are going to be on a more higher pace than how we did today. So yeah, that is that. When do we turn in our assignments? I'll give it tomorrow. Turn your assignments by end of tomorrow, if not by Friday. But this is a soft assignment, so I'm not is something I want you all to do, and it's going to be a time when someone is going to share his screen, and then we'll see what the person did. Okay. So that is all for today. So our next lesson is by Saturday, and I think we are going to meet him same time, and I'll definitely make sure it doesn't take this long. And I hope we have all learned one or two things today. Okay, now it's time for question. Alex. Okay. Okay, Balogun. Sorry, Alex,
Sorry
are you
for
still here?
bringing us.
Okay, I'm not sure Alex is with us. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Balogun. Sorry.
Sorry for bringing us back to where you copied the link to the Chrome.
Hey, don't say sorry. Yeah. I like it when people are curious. Like, it's best to be curious with anything, right? So, but no problem. What's the question again?
I said when you copy the link from the you
Okay,
copy
where I
the
copy.
link to the Chrome.
Yeah. Just type any website of your choice, right? Any website at all. I use google.com because that's the one we are more familiar with. Just type Google. You don't even need to type google.com. Just type Google here on your browser. Hit enter. Then just click on the first one that comes up. Then on this search bar, you can see on this search bar here, I'm going to shake my mouse so you can see it well. This search bar, just click on it. Click on it. Make sure everything is highlighted. Then copy. How to copy? Control C or Command C or Command C, please. Control C or Command C to copy. And then you now come here inside the href and then paste. To paste, Control V or Command V, depending on your system or OS. So I'll just delete this one here so you can see it. I'll paste, just Command V. Wait, did I copy LinkedIn? No. I copied .google.com. Yeah, copy it again, Control C, then paste it. Once you have done this, you save, Control S to save. Then come to your browser and refresh. Then I actually put on LinkedIn. Can you imagine? Well, no problem. Yeah, just remember that LinkedIn is taking us to Google. I clicked on LinkedIn. That's Google. Opens Google. Did I answer your question, Balogun?
Sorry, because you didn't answer my question. From that hello word, that
Wait,
is
wait. I've been talking. I didn't answer your question. All this why?
yes.
Ah, okay. Sorry. Go ahead. No, come on. Tell me, what's the question again?
Okay, when you inputted the hello word, you went to Google Chrome and it appeared on a sheet,
Yeah.
just like this thing they did. So is it the same format I'm going to follow to do that?
Yes. Fine, because of you, let me clear everything here. Have you created a file?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, open the file, double click on the file, yeah. Just open a tag. Remember how to open and close a tag. But in our own scenario, we are doing P. Open your P tag and close it. Then type hello world. You can type anything you want actually. Yeah, so this is the format. This is how to write HTML elements, right? You open and close it. Okay. Wait, what did I write? Hello world. Maybe there's many words here. So once you're done writing, save, Ctrl S, then come here, refresh. Just refresh. See this refresh icon. You're going to see hello world. Did I answer your question now?
Yeah, thank you. You answered my question.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, Jairus.
Okay, Mr. John, I want to understand something. Is it must that we must actually save before we now come here to make a refresh?
Yes, for you to know if you saved, yeah. If you make any change, you're going to see this circle. Just look here. Let me remove. You're going to see this white circle here. So if you're seeing this white circle at the top of your index.html or any of your file, this white circle by the side, it means you have not
Yes.
saved. So, but immediately
Okay.
I save, Control S, you see that white circle disappears.
Okay.
So you must save. And when you come
Okay.
here, also refresh just to be sure that your browser is updated with your code.
Okay.
Yep. Questions?
Secondly, concerning this, P, you say P is for paragraph and all that. Is there any line of this stuff that we actually have to know? Like you say, P is for paragraph. There's another one you run too. I think your H1 and
Yes.
H2. So I don't know whether is it kind of something that we will learn to get to know that we are going to use P, we're going to use H1 for this and all that. Those elements.
All right. So today I just wanted to let us know the ones that exist and the one that we can easily use, or the ones that are mostly often common while we are coding, right? Yes, it is okay to know the definition of every tag, right? But most tags just does what the other one does. Just like let me do Control Z. Sorry, I understand your question. Most tag does what the other one, just like this just like this section here, all these ones here, they all do the same thing. It's just that HTML5 gave it more name to it so that it will look more okay. You know, whenever it's here, that you know that okay, this person is talking about the header section of the website, right? Then div, it's not a must, you must know the definition, but it's okay to do that. It's okay to know those definitions. But about any convention or any way you are going to know each of them, that's entirely up to you, right? I want you to go check for other elements. These are the ones that are mostly common, right? And these are the definitions. H means header or heading, right? But then this heading is just for text. These are text tags. They are tags used only for text. Here, all the H tags, that's the H1, H2, H3, H2, H6, they are text tag. P is also text tag. P means paragraph. You can write anything you want inside of it. Then this one, they are more like a container tag, but you can still write a text inside of it, right? So it's easy. You can easily manipulate anything. Like you have control. over all the tags. They just do, some are unique, some are not. The only one that is unique here is this A tag. A tag is very unique. You can only use anytime you want to reference any other site or any other page, you must use A tag. So that is it. But I just want to give you an assignment. Just go look out for other HTML elements. Try to put a meaning to each of them. Why I'm putting the meaning is just for us to easily relate to this part, right? So whenever we see P, we know it's paragraph. Whenever we see A, we know it's anchor or link, and the rest of them. Did that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Balogun. Balogun, you asked the question.
You
No,
said
that
these are okay. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry, we did not only have Balogun and Jairus on the call. We are like 23. Only 2 people asking questions. Are we all on the same page? Please ask your questions. Feel free to ask your questions. How did you copy and paste the class attributes in VS Code? Yeah, ask your questions, please. Yeah, Jairus, go again.
Okay, what I'm saying, so you say we should browse about these HTML elements, right?
Yes.
For us to know these all these headings and all that.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Okay. So Jairus got you. Sorry if I'm murdering your names. Jairus, on the comment section, you asked how did you copy and paste the class attributes in VS Code. So just highlight. You can use your mouse and hover over the attribute. Just from here, click here, then click and hold your left click on your mouse or your touchpad. Then drag the mouse. After that, you do Control C or Command C, depending on your system. If you're using Windows, Control C. If you're using macOS, Command C. Once you do Command C, you have copied it. Then if you want to paste, just come to the next place we want to paste it. Then do Command V or Control C. It will paste. So that's it. Jairus Gashuhi on the comment section. Did that answer your question? So Amos, where do we submit assignments? Just create the file, right? You'll be sharing. I will call anybody at random to share their screen and show me what they did. So that's how you submit the assignment. I'll just call anybody at random on our next class. That is on Saturday. I'll just call anybody at random. Show me how you did this. What was your work process, and how do you know that this particular one does that? Then that's how you submit it here. This is a soft assignment. Other ones, there will be a link for you to go ahead and submit. I think there's attendance too. Yeah, I think we'll relate that with you. Alex, yes. Alex, you're back.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I'm actually done. Just taking questions.
Okay.
But currently there is none.
Okay. I think there's a question from Jairus.
Yeah, Jairus.
Okay, well, my question is, I think we are going to send this video to us. We're going to have access to it because there are places I actually didn't understand that I needed to go back, especially the starting of the software listing. So I missed out a lot of places where I was trying to watch what you're doing and also do the same to my system, but I couldn't meet up. So I have to shut it down.
Yes, the class is recorded. Okay, sorry, Alex. Please.
Yeah, okay, yes, the class is recorded. So after this meeting, just go to our YouTube channel and you will see the recorded class. So it's recorded. Thank you. So Mr. John, you're done.
Yes, yes, I am. I'm done.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for. I think there's a question from Oluwole Miriam in the comment section.
Okay, Miriam, is the assignment something we do as live code? Just do it at your no, it's not a live code. Just use the same VS Code that we use, the same tool that we use, right? And just create a tag, an image tag, then put an image to it. Let it display an image on your browser. Just do it on your. Then on the next class, we are going to talk. I'll just call at random. Someone will share a screen. Another person will tell me how they did theirs. Can you share the curriculum?
Okay, I think I would do that. I will share it personally. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Mr. John. It's an honor to listen to your knowledge. Yeah, to listen to a guru like you. So, this will be the end of the class, and I want us to go to the group now and